Welcome to The Explainer. As a parent, I'm sure this has crossed your mind. With AI absolutely everywhere, what are the skills our kids actually need to succeed? Well, that's exactly what we're going to dive into today.
So, let's jump right in with a classic scenario. Picture this. Your child shows you this amazing paragraph for their homework, and then you find out they use something like ChatGPT. That little bit of panic you might feel? Totally normal. But let's take a closer look at what's really happening here.
Okay, first things first. We need to get one thing straight. AI isn't some far-off sci-fi movie concept anymore. It's here, right now. It's in their school bags, on their phones. It's a part of their world.
And just look at the numbers, they're staggering. A recent study showed that a whopping 74% of teens are already using AI for school. So you see, the conversation isn't about if they'll use it. That ship has sailed. The real question we need to ask is, how are they using it?
I know AI can sound kind of big and intimidating, right? But here's a super simple way to think about it. Imagine the word transportation. That's the big idea, the whole category. Well, AI is just like that. And a tool like ChatGPT, that's just one type of vehicle, like a car. It's not one giant all-knowing brain. It's just a specific tool for a specific job.
Okay, and this next part is maybe the most important thing to get. A tool like ChatGPT isn't like a search engine that looks up facts, not at all. It's more like a superpowered autocomplete. It's a statistical guesser. It's just predicting the next most likely word in a sentence based on tons and tons of text it's seen before. The tricky part? It's designed to sound super confident, even when it's totally wrong.
And that brings us to the real risk, doesn't it? If our kids just use AI as a copy and paste machine for quick answers, they're not really learning. They're basically outsourcing their own thinking. It's kind of like never exercising a muscle. Their own critical thinking skills can get weaker.
So what do we do? The answer isn't to ban it, and you definitely don't need to rush out and sign them up for coding classes. Nope. The real secret is to focus on the skills that are 100% human, the things that AI just can't do.
You know, in a world where you can get any fact in a second, these three things, they're the new superpowers. This is what we really need to be teaching. Critical thinking, true out-of-the-box creativity, and how to tackle messy, complex problems that don't have a simple answer.
Let's start with that first one. Judgment. An AI can spit out an essay in seconds, sure, but can it tell you if that essay is wise, or fair, or ethical? No way. It gives you information, not wisdom. That's a human job, and it's a skill we have to help them build. And how do we build that judgment muscle? By encouraging them to be little detectives. We want them to get in the habit of always asking, okay, but how do we know this is actually true? An answer from AI shouldn't be the end of the road. It should be the beginning of an investigation.
All right, next up, creativity. And you're going to love this. There was a study where they asked kids to draw a circle, but they couldn't use the usual tools. You know what 85% of them did? They figured out they could just trace the bottom of a teapot. Brilliant! And the AI? It just got stuck. All it could think of was a ruler. It just goes to show you that kids are naturally creative in a way that machines just aren't.
And that little teapot story, it leads us to a really, really important idea we need to teach our kids. So check this out. There's machine learning. That's what the AI does. But then there's the risk of machine thinking, and that's when we let the machine do our thinking for us. We want our kids to use the tool, right? For brainstorming, for getting ideas. That's great. What we want to avoid is them just passively accepting whatever it spits out. It's about being an active driver, not a passive passenger.
Okay, so this all sounds good, but how do you actually do this stuff at home, right? You know, when you're trying to get dinner on the table? Well, let's talk about some really simple, concrete ideas. Here's a fun one for building judgment. Turn it into a game. Ask an AI for a fun fact, say about penguins. Then you turn to your kid and go, whoa, that's cool, but is it really true? How could we find out? And just like that, you're on a little fact-checking adventure together. It teaches them that questioning things is totally normal and can even be fun.
And what about that awesome teapot creativity? You want to use AI as a springboard, not a sofa. So instead of write me a story, try give me 5 crazy ideas for a story about a dragon who loves ice cream. Your kid picks their favorite and runs with it. Or have it make silly prompts like write a poem about our dog, but make it sound like Shakespeare. See? It becomes a fun partner in creativity.
So when you boil it all down, what's the main takeaway? It's this. This is not about teaching our kids to compete with AI. That's a race they can't win. It's about doubling down on what makes them human. Our job is to nurture their judgment, their creativity, their unique way of seeing the world, not their ability to process data.
And that leaves us with one final thought for you. The next time your kid shows you something they made with AI, what if instead of asking, "Did you do this yourself?" you asked something different? What if you asked, "Wow, that's a cool start. What do you think about it?" Or, "I wonder if that's the whole story." That tiny shift in the question you ask, that could make all the difference.